All right, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about CJB and Paul. How'd you get involved with CJB?
I had been out. I spent 2 years on the road with Lonnie Parsons, Casey General Stores team with Daniel Osowski, and also had my chassis business going on back here, but I was out there doing, I had guys working back here running that, just, 4 million things going on. And I'd made a decision to sell the chassis company, and as part of that, they wanted me to go to work for them. So I decided to come off the road, and Chad Clemens and Fred Raymer gave me a call to basically come in here and be their crew chief. So that was in the fall of 2010, I think. So we spent 2011 and most of 2012, and they were my first 2 years with Chad and Jen and, CJB Motorsports team with Fred. And things got a little rocky there, with the driver situation that we had going on, and for just various reasons and so forth, Fred decided to take a different path, and I had been, I didn't know Paul a whole lot, but I always go back to a conversation that I had with him. I think we were out on the road somewhere when I was on the Parsons team, and we were just sitting around having a couple of drinks one night, and he was actually subbing for Cody Dara at the time in one of the KKR cars. And there was this, I don't know, it was an enlightening conversation, and one that just stuck with me on his view, and the more, he's just, I put a lot of emphasis on the whole family concept of all this, and Paul's a great family guy, and we have our priorities straight, and there was just something about Paul that whenever we needed to go looking for a driver, that's who I told Chad that we needed to go after, and we got that done pretty quickly, and got some pretty quick success with him.
There's no doubt that you and Paul have great chemistry together. Mm-hmm. Is that something that just happened instantly, or did you guys have to build that up through the years?
No, it really happened. I'm pretty hardcore and a little fiery at times, as you know. But Paul's just all laid back, and I think it just kind of keeps it, if he was the firecracker on it, it'd be like gasoline and fire, and that would be a good deal. So he kind of keeps me in check on some of that stuff. But, we've been together, we've ran 2 full Outlaw seasons plus finished up that year. And when he first came in here, we ran 8 races or so. And I don't think through that entire time frame that we've had cross work for each other. So we have a lot of respect going both ways on how I feel about him as a driver, and what he thinks about me as crew chief, team manager, everything that I have to do here. So that's and when you're together as much as we are and run 90 races a year and out on the road and rooming together and all that kind of stuff, you have to get along. Or if you don't, it's going to be a long year.
Do you have any favorite tracks that the World of Outlaws are going to hit or have hit in the past?
Eldora, probably my favorite. Knoxville ranks right up there. And then actually, a lot of the bigger places anymore, because of rules packages and so forth, the racing gets a little blah, or aero and everything else going on with these things anymore. So I've really have became a fan of a lot of the shorter tracks. Love Peevely, Missouri, Hobstadt. There's a lot of good tracks that we go to, and as long as they're doing a good job with those tracks and so forth, we can put on some good racing.
I did a little research about you, Barry, and fun fact about Barry Jackson: you had 29 years. You held the longest field goal kick at Ships University. You think you can still demonstrate that for us?
No. I'd probably pull a hamstring.
All right. Well, thank you for talking with us today.
You're
and
welcome.
that's Crew Chief Barry Jackson on the CJB Motorsports team.